Once again, thank you for joining me for another episode of TTG Sports. Please like, share, subscribe to the page below. And today, you see, I'm joined with a little co-host today. We just left. The Horn Lake and Brandon girls basketball game, and it was a very interesting game. Very interesting game. We're going to highlight on a few things, and those games featured for Brandon. It featured Kennedy Davis. You know what I'm saying, which is one of the top 12 players in the state, or top 5 in her class in the state, versus India Bourne of Horn Lake, and it was definitely worth the price of admission. But when it came to those, Brandon was able to defeat Horn Lake tonight. And one thing I'm gonna touch on Horn Lake first, and then I'm gonna get to Brandon. India had 27 points, 4 rebounds, 4 steals, 1 block. This kid is just constantly, especially every time that I'm seeing her, filling up the stat sheet. It's hard to see. I haven't seen a kid this season, leave it alone, this season that has been able to score sometimes at will the way that India Bourne can. Simo is getting a very good player from what I'm seeing every time that I've seen her play this year. And it was no different tonight. Got in some foul trouble, was sent through a little adversity tonight, you know what I'm saying, on how things may go, because the calls may not always go your way and things like that. But to credit you, you did what you had to do for your team tonight. She was helped out by by Caitlin Williams, and like I'm saying, I'm pretty sure this kid is averaging double figures in rebounds, because every time I see her, she's at least getting 9 to 10 to 11, 12 rebounds every time that I see her. She had 6 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 steals. She had those rebounds, but I know she feel like she probably could have did a little more, but her motor was always there. And at times I just like watching that kid play, especially when the game is going her way. But Riley and Kelly added 5 points apiece. I feel like the one of the things that may have went wrong with the team of Horn Lake, where it was a little difference, is that they had 18 turnovers and Brandon had 13 turnovers. So with that being said, it's almost a 90% chance that if you're leading in the turnover category of the game, that you might lose. And Horn Lake just couldn't make no shots tonight, And sometimes that's just how the game goes. But them kids played hard on the defensive side of the ball. They just really couldn't get no shots to fall tonight. You know what I'm saying? From the other kids outside of India, it seemed like everybody just probably had a down night. But it ain't about losing. It's about how you react to how you lose. And I have the utmost confidence in those Horn Lake Eagles that they'll be able to bounce back from this loss, take it, swallow it, and do whatever they got to do with it. You know what I'm saying, and move on. But now I want to highlight the things that I saw with Brandon tonight. Brandon is coached by, I knew when I seen her, I was like, where you go to school at? She was like, she went to, Coach Foster said, she was like, she went to Mississippi State. And I think she was there during the time when Coach Schaefer and Coach Harris had just got to Mississippi State. And I think that was her last year or something. I don't know. But I think she ended up coaching after she graduated with them for a season. But now she's down there at Raymond, and she's getting whatever she can out of talent that she gets. One thing to note about Brandon, everybody that Coach Foster played tonight scored. If she put you in the game, they scored, which that says a lot. It lets me know that she knows her personnel. She knows how to use them. She knows when to use them. And especially having a point guard like Kennedy Davis, it just add insults to injury when it comes to this. But before I get to Kennedy and want to explain and like to have a little conversation about her and India plays the same position, but they are two different type of players, and we'll get to that in a minute. Kelsey Magnum, I think that's her name. I took a picture. I think, yeah, Kelsey Magnum. Number one, kid had 10 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. I don't know the classification of the kid, but the kid accepts her role for that team, and obviously she plays it well. When I see teams like this, the only way you can understand and recognize things if you see kids playing the role, because it's no doubt that Kennedy may be the best player on that team, but Kennedy just seems to make everyone around her so much better at times than I done seen from a lot of kids of games that I done watched. Howard had 10 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. That's another kid who, like, you didn't necessarily see, like, where did her points came from, but then when you look down, like, dog, this kid got, no, that's Daly. Daly had 10 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. Yeah, that kid there knocked down some big shots, got big rebounds at big times of the game. But like I said, everybody that she put on the floor was got in the books. So now I want to get to Kennedy Davis. First, this is my first time ever seeing the kid play outside of watching film on this kid. So I was very interested in seeing what I was going to see from this kid when I saw her. And when I saw this kid play, like, man, she's one of the most solidest point guard in the state, if not the solid. The difference between her and India is this. India is a killer, natural born scorer, can literally do whatever you want her to do. So naturally, India can play the 1 and the 2 at the next level. But when you got a point guard like Kennedy orchestrates everything around her. Like, this kid made everybody around her better, not because of how she was passing or how she was scoring. This kid, by her presence, you can tell by her presence being on the court, you know what I'm saying? It made everyone better because this kid made all the right passes. I don't think she forced up a shot or not, and this kid made some tough shots tonight. Every basket that she got, she had to work for. And there can't nobody in the gym that saw that say that kid there didn't work for every basket that she got. And like I say, young lady, everything that I saw out of you, I would just encourage you to keep doing what you're doing, because wherever you go play at the next level, I'm pretty sure your game is going to consistently grow. And one thing about it, I'm a big fan of you now just by watching you play. And I'll be keeping up with you just to see how everything turns out for the great Kennedy Davis. But Coach Foster, I just want to give a big shout out to you, because you're doing a great job with those kids. Coach Partee, you're doing a great job with your kids, but you know, I already told you, I just wanted to let Coach Foster know I understand and I see the vision that you have down there, and I see a lot of Mississippi State when I seen those kids play. You want to say who's the better player, Mark? Tonight, even though India had 27 points, 4 rebounds, 4 steals, 4 turnovers, it was just, to me, I would slightly give it to Kennedy tonight, not because she just necessarily in the stat sheet played better than India, but the presence and how she orchestrated her team stood out to me. When it comes to watching true point guards, like it's levels, it's different. It's a scoring point guard and it's a true point guard. There's Russell Westbrook, there's LaMelo Ball. Totally 2 different players, you know what I'm saying? So but they play the same position. So which I'm telling you, one is a scorer, the other one is a facilitator or orchestrator. It's like she plays the game like a person that, like Ray Charles may play the piano. And like I say, it wasn't nothing just too fancy, but this kid made tough shots, kept her team composed when Horn Lake was making runs to come back. And which is hard to do because Horn Lake is a solid team, is a good team. Like, it's going to get interesting down the stretch to see how all this stuff unfolds, especially for this classification of basketball. But like I say, Horn Lake just couldn't make no shots. You know what I'm saying? And Brandon was making those shots that they was getting when they was wide open. So, like I would say tonight, slightly, you know what I'm saying, I would give it to Kennedy because of the presence and how she orchestrated it, how I just seen the unselfishness of just wanting the W and not just going after the game, letting the game come to her. This kid did a job of letting everything just come to her. Just let everything just come to her. But like I say, there was no one on the court that could stop India neither. It's just that everybody didn't contribute like they should have tonight. But like I say, Horn Lake should bounce back from this. I have no doubt in my mind with that. But it was like what we have to do, like, since I was just being so critiqued on how I handle things and the approach, which big thing was called approach. You know what I'm saying? We have to be careful as people on how we really look at other people, because the world that we live in, it's about my. Like, it's truly about my. But people, when you do the my, you don't catch yourself in the heat of the moment saying what you truly want to say about everyone that's around your my. And energy shouldn't be selective. If anybody know anything about me, I'm honest straight down the board with whoever. But at the end of the day, coaching, trying to literally coach. I mean, I'm not saying this from the game tonight. I've been watching film today, so I'm just totally on a whole different aspect. But hearing parents want to coach from the stands and every time something doesn't go right for them, and some of these things may have happened tonight too. Everything that when the game is not going right for their kids or their kids' team, now they want to point fingers and start playing the blame game instead of letting stuff just play out. Because we confuse our kid, because I'm pretty sure at the end of the day, y'all going to talk about it when you get home and have some of the same opinions in front of these kids. That's where it needs to stop at. Because if you're that good of a coach, parents, cousins, whoever, if y'all that good of a coach, why are y'all not coaching y'all kids? Like, why are y'all not coaching y'all kids? And when you coaching your kids from the stands, you're just showing the coach how much that you disrespect them. or how much you do not like them. Like, I'm just telling you from both sides of it. I done been a coach. I done been a fan. I don't know if I'm gonna be a parent yet. You know what I'm saying? But from the aspect of how we need to stop things, we need to stop. Just if we want our child to be great individually, start letting them play tennis, because basketball is a team sport. Basketball is a team sport. And so with me saying that, you hear parents like their child could miss 20 times and they can maybe get on them, but another kid can shoot a shot and miss and they'll just blow up, like put the head down, like, oh my God, what they're doing. But like, ain't everybody missing? Ain't everybody missing? So now we're not worried about that kid's feelings. We just only concerned about the individual feelings. A lot of problems that goes on with teams and divide teams starts at home. It don't start with those kids. Those kids are put in a room together to be connected with each other. The only thing that divides a team is what goes on the outside of a team. Because if they locked in with each other, nothing, you know what I'm saying, will divide them. So obviously what goes on in between the time of those kids going home, going to school, whatever they got to do, coming to practice, everything that goes in between that matters to what happens, what goes in between that. So this is just a message, not to anyone. This is just a message of seeing what problems that I see with parents and with what's going on with the game. Because we don't just have to correct the kids now. Like, we have to correct ourselves. We have to be willing to correct ourselves. Because at the end of the day, some parents, even me as a fan, at times, yeah, I do admit sometimes I have went overboard. But sometimes parents, we go overboard. That you can go overboard about your child just for the unexpected reason, for anything that may happen. But we got to get control of that so our kids won't always feel entitled to that protection. Or I'm going to always be here. So we have to hold our own accountable for when they mess up. Like, we can't, nowhere in this outside of India, in DeSoto County, there's nobody and nowhere in DeSoto County that anybody need to be talking about nobody game, period, of who's better than who. Because they're pretty much all on the same level. They just different ways and that you can put it, because nobody truly in DeSoto County separates themselves outside of India born when it comes to that. But that don't give anybody that cheers for India or anybody leverage. We still have to do it as a collective and doggone treat if we're doing this for these kids and Rayshawn, you need to quit doing this. We're going to get on the real spiel and understand that everything starts at home. We have to do a better job of approaching our kids at home when things don't go their way on the court. We have to do a better job doing that. So don't divide the team up. Parents, brothers, cousins, uncles, sisters, mamas, daddies, however it may be. A lot of dividing of teams come from conversations that are held at home. That's where cliques become made at. That's where I'm going to just hang with this person. I don't like this person because this person taking that many shots. We deal with too many teams with players competing with each other, competing with their own teammates instead of competing with the team. Sometimes it ain't even about the W. Sometimes it's about if my kid get this stat, or if my kid get this reward, or if my kid get put in this ad, or if this person writes this article. That's what it's about, and it shouldn't be like that. The main goal is to win, because at the end of the day, don't nobody truly cares when it's a team sport how great at times that your child may be doing. Because it becomes a sense of selfishness and teams get divided. Teams need to stop getting divided due to the fact of what they hear on the outside. This is just a message to kids and parents to let y'all know that at the end of the day, like, some of the problems that divide teams starts at home with the parents when they picking and choosing and who they like on the team and things like that. If you're going to be straight up, you be straight up with everybody. Don't pick and choose with what you do. Don't pick and choose with what you do. And the last thing that anybody, again, needs to be doing is coaching from the stands. It's coaching from the stands. Or critiquing anybody else's child if you got one. Because what makes your child so much better? Because, like, don't they say in a good book, ain't no sin no greater than the other? So, like, regardless if you can do X, Y, Z and you still turn the ball over, or if you still missing 20 shots, like, what can you say about anybody else? How can you say anything about anybody else if your kids are making the same problem? Stop. If your kids are making the same mistakes, what can you possibly do? So one thing that I wish that we can stop and that'll help our kids and help our youth is parents, stop helping divide the team due to how your personal feelings feel when it comes to your child. Because at the end of the day, this team is not just about your child. This team is about the team. It's not labeled your child. It's not, why is you doing it? And you see me over here talking. So, don't do that. Don't do that. Kids start having disliking for other kids just because they parent may have said this, or they may treat this kid a certain way because they parent said that. Basketball is a team sport, not an eye sport. And I think, not saying that's what happened tonight, but tonight, Brandon played better as a team than Horn Lake. And that's just the true assessment. And if anybody saw it, they would say that. Brandon ran their sets, even though, like I say, like Coach said, they didn't play as well as they wanted to play, but you know what I'm saying, they kept playing. They was able to fight through adversity, in which all you have to do is, you know what I'm saying, watch teams like that. Not saying that she has the best talent in Mississippi, but the way that those kids were operating tonight as a unit, they just did it better than Horn Lake did it tonight. And I'm pretty sure, like I say, Horn Lake will bounce back, and Coach Partee will understand where I'm coming from. I wouldn't say he got out-coached. Her kids just executed the game plan a little better than his kids did. But my sole thing, too, with Horn Lake, couldn't nobody really just hit no shots like tonight. So, like, another night, probably at 6 p.m., when it's when the game was normally supposed to start, it may have been a different story. I'm not saying Brandon's that much better than Horn Lake, because I think if they played the best 3 out of 5, I think Horn Lake will beat them 3 out of 5. It's just tonight, Brandon was better. So you can't take that away from them. You can't take that away from them. So I wanted to touch on one more thing before I go. And this is a prime example why I say we shouldn't rank kids. You know what? Leave it alone. I ain't even gonna do it. Don't worry about it. I'll just save it for another time or whatever. This ain't the time or the place. This is the time or the place to highlight those kids that did tonight. And Kennedy Davis, I just want to let you know you definitely trained to go. India born, you're trained to go. It ain't no secret. But like at the end of the day, if you're not trained to go, you can't be on this show. And please, like I say, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube page, because once I upload this on my YouTube page, I'm gonna take this live down. So if you want to see this and everything, you will be able to go see it on my YouTube page shortly. I appreciate everyone that joined me tonight, or those who chimed in. But like I said, if you're not trained to go, you can't be on this show. And I'll see you.